time to get excited for July, my bookworm friends. So join me today while I share with you all the books that I am super excited about and that are coming out in July. Hello bookworms, Kim here and welcome on back to Bookworm Buzz. And if you are new to this channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for joining me today, you guys. If you are new, please consider subscribing, click that like button. I would really appreciate it. Okay, so moving on. We are already heading up towards July. I actually can't believe it, you guys. This year is just flying by. But the good news is I have had a very good reading year up to now. I've actually had quite a lot of 5-star reads, more than I would usually have. So on that note, it is time for me to share with you guys the upcoming releases that are coming out in July and that I am super excited about. I normally try and limit these videos to 10 books, my 10 most anticipated reads of the following month. But for July, I'm not able to do that. I have 14, so not too many, but still 14 books to tell you guys about. They are primarily thrillers, mystery, suspense, and also some horror novels thrown in there. I am really finding that I am enjoying horror this year. So I think I have 9 thriller/mystery novels to speak to you guys about, and then there are 5 horrors. But with horrors, they often straddle various genres. So some of the horrors are horrors/thrillers/mysteries. But anyway, enough with that introduction. Right, my friends, let's jump in. So I am going to start with the thrillers. So the very first book I want to tell you guys about is this one called Our Last Resort. And this is by Clemence Michelon. Now, this is the same author that published The Quiet Tenant. And I absolutely loved that thriller. And so I'm pretty excited for this one. This one is coming out on about the 8th of July, so keep your eye out for it. It's unfortunately not getting amazing ratings. It's sitting at a 3.66 currently on Goodreads, but I think it sounds fantastic. So let me just read to you a little bit from the blurb. 15 years ago, Frida and her brother escaped a cult. Now her brother is the prime suspect in a murder investigation, and it isn't the first time. Innocence doesn't bail you out. It just makes you easier to trap. And that's all I'm going to read to you from the blurb. I think it sounds fascinating. I'm upset to see that it only has a 3.66. But you know, I have said before, I am the type of reader who often reads and really enjoys books that other people have not enjoyed. So I am not being put off by that rating, and I am looking forward to this one. Next up, we have another thriller. This one is called This Is Where We Die, and the author is Cindy R.X. Hare. Now, this one has been described as an incredibly twisty thriller, and so I'm all for that. Count me in. This one comes out right at the beginning of July. Its release date is listed as the 1st of July. And the good news is it is getting very good ratings. So its current average rating is 4.11, and that is obviously on Goodreads. So my friends, here is what we have with this book. 8 friends went on a trip. Only 6 came back. Now a killer has one night to make sure the survivors pay for what they did, so that 0 actually make it out alive. And again, that is all I'm going to read to you. It will just make this video too long to read the entire blurb. So I'm just going to be giving you snippets of what the books are about. And just on that basis, I think this one sounds really good fun. And so, yeah, definitely looking forward to it. I do note on Goodreads that it is described as a thriller and young adult. Now, some of you may remember I do not read young adult novels. I have tried so many times, and they just don't work for me. So this one is maybe not right at the top of my TBR, but I know there are a lot of you that do enjoy young adult thrillers, and so I wanted to include this one. It's on my TBR, but like I say, not right at the top. Now, as opposed to that last novel that I just told you about, a book that is right on the top of my TBR for July is this one. This is called Night Watcher, and the author is Daphne Wilson-Croft. This one is again a thriller/mystery novel. It is coming out on or about the 8th of July. And again, this one gets very good reviews so far. It is sitting at a 4.19 on Goodreads. And this one is one that I am super excited about. It's an adult thriller and it sounds amazing. Nola Strait, a late night call-in radio host in Portland, Oregon, listens to stories of hauntings and cryptic sightings for a living. But one foggy, wet evening, when a caller describes an eerie scene that triggers memories of Nola's escape from a serial killer years ago, she becomes fearfully aware that he's back to finish what he started. Hello, sign me up. Sounds amazing. It's a thriller. It's got hauntings and sightings and eerie vibes, and there's a serial killer. I think you can tell why this one is so high up on my TBR. I will be picking this one up very soon, and I can't wait to get to it. Then the next couple of thriller novels I want to share with you guys are coming from, or being released by, let me rather say that, being released by authors that we hear a lot from. These are authors that pretty much release books every year, basically. I don't go crazy for these next two authors, but I know they are very popular. My problem with them sometimes is that their thrillers are very much more run of the mill. But anyway, enough said about that. This next book is called You Belong Here, and the author is Megan Miranda. So as I've said, this is an author who frequently releases thriller novels. I have read a lot by this author. They always just sort of okay for me, but this one does sound pretty good. It is only getting a 3.79 on Goodreads. So again, maybe not right up at the top of my TBR, but I did want to mention this one because I know this is a popular author. Some of you guys probably love to read her stuff. So this one is coming out right at the end of July. The publication date is set for the 29th of July. So basically here we have a decades-old secret that drove a mother from her hometown now threatens her college-bound daughter in this twisty new thriller from New York Times bestselling author Megan Miranda. So, I mean, if you are a fan of this author, if you like her books, definitely check this one out. I'm not going to say too much more than that. And then we have the latest release from Shari Lapina called She Didn't See It Coming. Now, again, Shari Lapina is an author who releases frequent thriller novels. Pretty much every year you will get a thriller novel from this author. I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship with her books in that, well, maybe I shouldn't say a love-hate relationship. Let me rather just say I've never found her books absolutely brilliant, but I do know a lot of people enjoy her novels. This one, for example, is getting very good reviews on Goodreads. It's sitting at a 4.09 at the moment, so that is pretty good. So basically, in this story, we have the following. When a beloved wife and mother disappears, a luxurious condo building transforms into a potential crime scene, and the investigation begins. Can the detectives find her before it's too late? So again, I'm going to leave things there. That's all I have to say about this one. Then next up is Everyone is Lying to You by Jo Piazza, which is an author that I don't think I have read from before. Again, this is a thriller/mystery novel. It's coming out around the 15th of July. Getting good reviews at the moment. It's sitting at a 4.1 on Goodreads. So this book is described as an explosive thriller about two estranged friends, a grisly murder, a sudden disappearance, and the truly shocking revelation that everyone is lying to you about something. Now, that sounds fun. That sounds very interesting. Is everyone in your life lying to you guys? I don't know, but from the point of view of a thriller novel, I think it sounds great. And this is one that I will be picking up sooner rather than later. Is the name Holly Jackson familiar to many of you? I'm sure it is. This is a hugely popular thriller author, although historically she has written young adult thrillers, which means that for me, she hasn't been a favorite just because I don't read young adult, as I have already said, but she is the author of a book titled The Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I know plenty of people were loving at the time. Now, this one is her first adult novel. This is called Not Quite Dead Yet. Now, many people are excited for this one, including me. I think she is probably a pretty good author. It's just that I don't read YA. I don't enjoy it. I don't like the writing style. And so I am very excited to try this one out because, as I've already said, it is her first adult thriller. And so, I mean, what am I going to think? I'm holding thumbs, and I'm going to love this one. So basically, the blurb here says, in 7 days, Jet Mason will be dead. Jet is the daughter of one of the wealthiest families in Woodstock. 27 years old, she's still waiting for her life to begin. I'll do it later, she always says. She has time. Until Halloween night, when Jet is violently attacked by an unseen intruder. She suffers a catastrophic head injury. The doctor is certain that within a week, the injury will trigger a deadly aneurysm. Jet has never thought of herself as having enemies, but now she looks at everyone in a new light. Her family, her former best friend turned sister-in-law, and her ex-boyfriend. She has at most 7 days, and as her condition deteriorates, she has only her childhood friend Billy for help. But nevertheless, she's absolutely determined to finally finish something. Jet is going to solve her own murder. So it sounds fantastic. Sign me up. I can't wait for this one. I mean, basically, as I've just read to you, she gets attacked, she ends up dying, and then from the other side, she is going to be solving her own murder. Oh yes, sign me up for this one. I can't wait. Now, I must tell you, Mark Edwards is one of my favorite authors. He writes such twisty, fun thrillers, and so I am excited for his latest release, which is called The Wasp Trap. This one is coming out about the middle of July. I think it's scheduled for the 16th of July. It's getting very good reviews on Goodreads. I mean, for me, anything over a 4 means that the book is doing really well when it comes to readers who are leaving reviews. So this one is getting a 4.06. I can't wait for it. As I've said, this author writes very twisty novels that I have often loved. And so you can sign me up for this one. Right. A dinner party in a beautiful Notting Hill townhouse turns into a sinister game as 6 old friends are forced to spill their darkest secrets or else. So yes, what can we expect? It's going to be some sort of thriller. It's going to be some sort of mystery. There are probably going to be twists and turns, you know, all the good things that us thriller lovers love. And so, yep, this one will be going onto my TBR. How good is the title of this next novel? I love it. It is called Matchmaking for Psychopaths. Oh my gosh, I think it sounds awesome. Again, this one is described as a thriller / mystery novel. The author is Tasha Coriel. Again, an author that I don't think I have read from before. I think this one sounds, again, really fun, really amazing. It's getting a 4.15 on Goodreads. It comes out towards the middle of July. Right, so in this one, the main protagonist or the main character, her name is Alex, and Alex thinks she has found love. So she's floored when she arrives to her dinner with her boyfriend, expecting a ring in a little box, and instead finding her best friend sitting at the table with him. They have news. They're together now, and apparently her birthday dinner is the best time to share the news. Oh my gosh. Can you imagine? No, thank you. Suddenly, Alex's world implodes. She's lost the 2 people in the world closest to her, her only support. She's utterly alone, her future in pieces. So when she unexpectedly bumps into a client, Rebecca, and Rebecca seems to want to be friends, it feels like a lifeline. So far, it's not sounding very thrillerish, but stick with me here. But then Alex's now ex turns up dead. And more people around her seem to be dropping like flies. And she can't help but wonder if this new friendship is a match made in hell. So fun, guys. This sounds like fun. I mean, even the cover really, you know, firstly, the title of this book and then the cover. I can't take this novel too seriously. But it is listed as a thriller, it's listed as a mystery, it's listed as adult fiction. So yes, I am all for this one. Right, my friends, so that pretty much wraps up the thriller / mystery portion of this video. Now moving on to the horrors / thrillers, and so on. So I have 5 books to talk to you about under this sort of genre. The first one is this one, and I am really excited for this one. This one is called The Bewitching, and the author is Sylvia Marino Garcia. Again, a new to me author. This book is getting very good ratings. It currently sits at a 4.32 on Goodreads. It's expected in the middle of July. So basically here we have the following. Three women in three different eras encountered danger and witchcraft in this eerie, multi-generational horror saga. Let me just read you one more sentence. Back then, when I was a young woman, there were still witches. That was how Nana Alba always began the stories she told her great-granddaughter Minerva. So on that basis, sign me up. It seems to be about witches, about witchcraft. It's some sort of horror saga. So yes, as I mentioned already in this video, I am really taking to horror novels. I have read a few this year that I've absolutely loved, and I really do love them when they have a paranormal aspect to them. I'm not sure if this one does necessarily go paranormal, but I know there are one or two others that I'm going to be talking to you about that do go the paranormal route. So I'm excited for this one. Sign me up, gang. Next up is a book that sounds so fascinating to me. This one is called Negative Images. I am probably going to butcher the author's name, but this author is Rebecca Shea Akamelu. I hope I haven't butchered that too badly. But anyway, moving on. This one is expected to be released around the 22nd of July. It's getting a 3.86 on Goodreads, which is still a pretty good rating. I mean, anything above a 4 is really fantastic. For me, anything above a 3.8 means the book is probably going to be pretty darn good. So at a 3.86, I'm excited for this one. I'm just going to read a tiny bit to you from the blurb. Anita Walsh, still reeling from her husband's sudden death, finds herself haunted not only by grief, but his negative image, a new phenomenon where the deceased prey on those they loved in life, turning intimate memories into nightmares. Sorry, gang, but that sounds terrible. I mean, that sounds terrible. It sounds like all the things that nightmares are made of. This is a horror novel. So, I mean, if we want to be scared and we want to be upset, this sounds like it's going to do it, right? So sign me up for this one. You guys know I can go dark. I can go messed up. I can go disturbed. So yeah, this one sounds like I'm going to really enjoy it, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. Then we have Paul Tremblay's latest novel. This one is called Another. Again, this one is a horror novel. However, it is also described as middle grade. So, I mean, I am excited for this one, but you know, young adults, middle grade, no, those things have not been traditionally for me. But because this is Paul Tremblay, I will probably read it. But for those of you who don't mind young adult, although this isn't even young adult, this is middle grade. So yes, just remember that. It is getting very good reviews. It's got a 4.19 currently. It's being released on the 22nd of July. So here we have this. When Casey Wilson's parents tell him that his friend is coming for a sleepover, he has no idea who that might be. Ever since the Zoom incident, everyone treats him like a pariah, and his tics are worse than ever. When Morel appears, he's not like any friend Casey has ever met. His skin is like clay, and he doesn't speak. But Casey's parents are charmed by the strange kid, and it's nice to have someone to talk to besides his sister, who is away at college. As his normally loving parents grow distant from Casey, they gush and fawn over Morel. Casey knows something is wrong, but with no end in sight to the sleepover, he's exhausted. And in the dark, out of the corner of his eye, Morel doesn't look like a kid at all. Oh my gosh. It may be middle grade, but it sounds immensely freaky. I think this is one of those books that probably has some sort of paranormal aspect to it. I'm nervous that it's middle grade. I wish this was the blurb for an adult horror novel, because I think I would be absolutely sold. I'm going to try it, but the jury will be out until I've tried it, obviously, because of the whole middle grade thing. But I mean, it really sounds freaky and it sounds interesting. So yeah, let me put it onto my TBR. Then this next book seems to straddle a few different genres. It is described as horror, it is described as thriller, and it is also described as mystery. So this one is How to Survive a Horror Story, and this is by Mallory Arnold. It's being released towards the beginning of July, round about the 8th, and it currently has a 3.68 on Goodreads. So, 7 authors enter the manor. Can they survive the story within? So basically, this is a story about authors. They are invited to some sort of retreat or some sort of manor, and the blurb goes on to say this. When they arrive at his grand manor, they are invited to play a game. The rules are simple. Solve the riddle and progress to the next room. If they don't, the manor will take one of them for itself. So more than that, I'm not going to read to you. As I've already said, this is one that straddles a few different genres. It sounds interesting, And so, yeah, I will be picking this one up at some point. And then the last book to make it into today's video is this one called Mayra, and the author is Nikki Gonzalez. Now, apparently this is a debut novel. Unfortunately, this one is only getting a 3.56 on Goodreads. But I'm going to try and not be too put off by that because, as I've already mentioned in this video, I do tend to gravitate towards books that other people don't always love. And so I am happy to give this one a chance. It seems to have a pretty interesting blurb. And again, the blurb is quite long, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm just going to read to you one sentence, basically. This is an eerie, hypnotic debut about friendship, desire, and memory set against the sultry backdrop of Florida's swamplands. Basically, the long and the short of it seems to be about two friends. They've lost touch, but then out of the blue, the one friend phones up the other one and invites them away to this house. And from the minute they enter this house, basically it seems that danger looms. And I'm going to leave it at that. Like I say, I'm keen to try it. It's not getting amazing reviews, so that is always sad to see with a debut novel. But anyway, I am going to try this one nonetheless. So, my friends, that wraps up today's video for the month of July. All the books that I am excited to read. There are so many on here that I just can't wait to get to. There are probably, I would say probably eight or nine out of these 14 or 15 books. I think it was 14 books that I am super excited to get to and that I will be picking up. Please chat to me in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts. And other than that, my bookworm friends, happy reading, gang. Bye.